They were rolling through the busted-up remains of some highway overpass, dust kicking up with every step. Crystal, her eyes peeled like always, pointed towards a janky-looking building in the distance. "Yo," she said, her voice a little rough from the grit. "Looks like some kinda old gas station. Might be worth checking out for some grub or something." Leo, his head cocked to the side, sniffed the air. "Smells mad old," he rumbled. "And maybe a faint whiff of that gas still hanging around. Could be a come-up." Goldie, moving smooth and silent as ever, kept his eyes locked on that distant spot. He always had that don't-trust-nothing vibe going on in this messed-up world. As they got closer to the gas station, the faded sign barely clinging to the rusty frame looked extra sad. The silence here was heavy, man, just the wind whispering through busted windows. "Gave you the creeps." Crystal moved real careful, her hand gripping that shank she always kept close. Leo's stick tapped out a steady beat on the cracked pavement, building a map in his head. Goldie was right there with him, a golden shadow in all the gray. Inside, the air was thick with that old, dead smell and a hint of gas. Shelves were flipped over, everything long gone. But in a back room, out of nowhere, they found a small stash of canned goods and some water bottles. A small win in this constant hustle for survival. As Crystal was bagging the loot, she spotted something tucked in a corner, a plain glass vase, still in one piece. "Huh," she said, picking it up and checking it out. "That's kinda bougie for this dump." It was a fragile reminder of a life that was. And what kind of shady stuff might be lurking in the shadows of this forgotten spot? They finished checking out the dusty main part of the gas station, nothing much else worth jack. Then Crystal noticed a busted-up garage door hanging crooked on its hinges. "Hold up," she said, heading towards it. "Might be something chilling in the back." Leo stopped his careful tapping. "Hear anything?" "Nah, just that creepy wind," Crystal replied, pushing the door open with a groan of rusted metal. The inside was dark and smelled like oil and decay. She pulled out her makeshift flashlight, the beam cutting through the gloom. Dust motes danced in the light, falling on piles of old tires and busted tools. Then, her beam landed on something big under a thick layer of grime. "Whoa," she breathed. "Peep this." Leo and Goldie moved closer. As Crystal wiped away some of the dust, the shape of a large vehicle began to emerge. It was old school, a massive sedan from before the world went sideways, something you didn't see much anymore. It was beat up, windows cracked, paint faded, but the frame looked surprisingly solid. "Damn," Crystal muttered, circling the ride. "This thing's a beast. Looks like it could plow through a wall." Leo ran his hands over the dusty hood. "Feels heavy duty. You think it's still got any juice?" Crystal shrugged. "Don't know, man. But look at the size of this trunk. We could haul a whole lot of stuff." She tried the driver's side door. It creaked open with a groan. The interior was trashed, seats ripped, but the dashboard was mostly intact. "Think you can get it running?" Leo asked, his voice hopeful. Crystal grinned, a spark of excitement. Leo ran his hands over the dusty hood, a thoughtful expression.